Hi everyone, it's Maggie, and I am here with another project share. And this is another Doily Mini, and it's actually Past Queens number 2. I had extra photos of queens from the past, and I decided to do book number 2 because I had so much fun doing the first one. And I don't know who all the queens are, but they do say that they're queen from, some country. A couple of them I knew, and some I had no idea. But anyways, this is book number 2. And here's the cover. And I do know that that is Queen Elizabeth I of England. And you all must know by now, if you've watched me before, how I, start my doily books, and from the tutorial, how I start with, 2 doilies and all that. But like the first book, I did use more doilies, and I did try to go over the top. Maybe not as much as the first book, but, where it is showcasing, royalty, and you think of the crown jewels and all that. I did try to, go a little over the top anyway. So here's the front cover. Whoops. And I have, I have 1, 2, 3 doilies on each side of the page. So there's 6 altogether just on this one page. But I added a flower applique behind the image, and then I went around the image first with this multi-stone cup chain, and then in the middle is a clear cup chain, a little bit larger, and then the multi-stone again. Because I did want it to be different from the first book, but I did want to use a lot of bling. And then I added this pearl crown on top. And I like how that came out. And then I just added a lot of dangles on the bottom. Here's a flower dangle. And here's a little flower that I made from a trim. I added these little acrylic flowers. They're white, so you might not even be able to really see them. And then here's a bridal type of applique, and I added a loopy flower from this. You can find at Craft Supplies for You. And I made another flower. Here's another applique, and then I added a rhinestone piece there. And then on this hanging applique, I made another little double flower from a trim. Put that on just for a little extra. And then I use seam binding again to tie it all together. And then I've had this for quite a while. I got it at Michael's, and it was called something Romance Collection. And it's in silver, and it's a flower, and there's a rhinestone, and there's a dangle there. And so that's what I used. And then on the back, I kept it fairly simple. I just used some dangles on the bottom. Here's a flower applique dangle, and then I cut up an applique with these flowers here and added them. If there's shading, I apologize, but it's late at night, and my overhead headlight sometimes casts a shadow. So I really can't do much about that, though. So, okay, so you turn it over, and here's the first 2 pages, and they're both image pages. And here's the first image, and I went around her with a little bit of a trim, and then I added this pearl and rhinestone trim around that. Here's a what would you call it? It's a doily, but it's a fabric doily, I guess. And then I took this trim and I cut the pieces and went around that. And then here's another flowery dangle that I added the flowers to from the trim, and rhinestones. And then there's lots of dangles here. This is a piece from a trim that I added this pearl and rhinestone piece in the middle to hang. And then I added another bling piece here. And then I cut this applique, usually goes down farther, but I did cut it off at a certain point. And then I added some brown clay flowers just to kind of, her hair's dark brown, and I didn't really have any colors that would go with the image other than the brown, but I like how it came out. I think it looks very vintage. And then here's the next picture, and I think this is Marie Antoinette, but I'm not positive. And I went around her with this AB tiny cup chain. This is a trim from my stash, and I cut it individually to be able to go around in a circle. And then I added the tiny little pearls that, I add to a lot of my pieces now. Here's another flower dangle trim. There's lots more dangles. And then there's this trim that I added these oval pearls to. And then here's another applique piece. I added another one of those flowers with the rhinestone, and then this little dangle with a clay flower. And this little dangle piece is from Neri. And here's another applique that I cut into a dangle. So that's those two pages. And then you flip it over, and this is a flower page. Lots of dangles again. Extra doilies. And then this is a flower doily that somebody made me, and I added this large bling piece that, I've had this for a few years because that's from One Little Dreamer shop. And then here's another piece from Neri, and I added this little pink clay flower and just a lot of trims, dangle trims. And then here's the next one. And I'm not sure, but I'm wondering if this might be Elizabeth II's mother, the Queen Mother. I'm not positive, but I thought she kind of looked like that when she was very young. But I could be wrong. And I'm sure if somebody knows who it is, they'll let me know in the comment section, and that would be appreciated if I am wrong. And again, there's more doilies. Here's a piece that I just cut out separately and put around it. Here's another flower from a trim that I cut out. Here's another dangle applique, more flowers, and I used the blue clay flowers because it matched her dress. And this is another applique that's cut, and just more, lots more dangles. And then here's the final image. And I think this is Queen Victoria in her later years. I had a picture of her. I think she's actually the picture on the cover of my first doily book. And she was very young in that one. But this, I think, is her in her later years. And I added flowered dangle appliques. Here's a rhinestone cameo piece. Here's another bling piece from when I was DTing for One Little Dreamer. And here's another applique piece that I added some more rhinestones to. And again, just a lot of dangles. And then the final page I made into a pocket. So there's the pocket, and I left it fairly simple. You can see one of Wendy's doilies behind there. This doily is from Donna Little, and I added a really pretty bling piece there. And then here's a applique trim from one. Now I have One Little Dreamer on the brain, from Craft Supplies for You, and I added acrylic and rhinestone flowers, and again, more dangles. So that is it. that's my Queens from the Past Doily book number 2. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk. Hold on one second. And here you can see how thick all the dangles are. So that's it. That's my Doily book. If you'd like, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And I'll be back again soon with another project share and still trying to catch up. And I will be doing a giveaway soon. I have passed 5,000 subscribers, which I can't believe. And I'm just, I'm thrilled for that. And so I will be doing a giveaway, and it will be just a giveaway. It won't be a challenge. You won't have to do anything. I'm just trying to decide how I'm going to do it and what I'm going to give away. So when I know for sure, then I will make the video. So thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for sticking with me to the end if you have. And I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.